Hey everybody, this is Randy Baxter. Boy, we messed up last week, didn't we? I tried to have a 3 o'clock class, and all the internet went down in West Knoxville, and I just had no option but to uh, go home. And I'm sorry to those of you that felt abandoned. I didn't mean to abandon you at all. But anyway, I'm Randall Baxter. I'm the president of Asset Positioning Services, and our topic today, and welcome everybody, is going to be building your business using do-it-yourself estate planning software. And I really need you guys to pay attention to this uh, because I'm going to try to change mindsets a little bit. So the first question that I want to ask everybody is, how will your business benefit from the estate planning process? And and you know, for those of you that attended last Friday and you heard Greg say how it benefited him, if you follow the process that we use and follow it to the T, I promise you'll have good results. But what I'm finding out is that licensees are going in and changing things, and they're not getting as good of results. And that's not my fault. That's your fault if you're changing things. So just be aware that when I show you how to do something, it's because I've already tested it. It's not a laboratory. It's something that works. So anyway, the first thing we want to do is, what tools and assets do you already own to contribute to a successful recipe for success? And some of you have all the tools you need, and some of you don't have all the tools you need, and that's okay. But first thing we have to do is identify them so we can figure out what's missing. So I'm just going to ask you a question: are you healthy enough to pursue your dreams? And if you're not, then some of y'all know my story. A couple years ago, I wasn't even healthy enough to stand up. I wasn't healthy enough to think straight because of COVID. But gradually, I started rebuilding things, and I started getting stronger, and I started figuring out what I needed to do. And what I've been trying to teach you guys ever since then is exactly what I do to make my life easier, income wise. It doesn't always make my life easier work wise, because sometimes it's a lot of work to get people to do what's the correct thing to do, especially when they ask you what the correct thing to do is, and then you tell them, and then they change it. So now, I'm just asking you, don't change it, but are you healthy enough to pursue your dreams? That's the first thing we need to talk about. So the next thing is, are you secure in your home and financially stable? Now, I'm going to go back to that slide right there. Okay. Are you healthy enough to pursue your dreams? And I don't know if you all are aware of a psychologist named Mr. Maslow, but Mr. Maslow used to talk about, if you can't breathe and you can't get something to eat and you can't do anything like that, you're going to forget all your other goals, and you're going to try to get some air. Okay. Well, the next step of that is, once you realize that you can breathe and feed yourself and everything, you're going to want to ask yourself the question, are you living somewhere that you feel comfortable in? Now, if you're not living somewhere where you feel comfortable, you're going to take care of that first before you start talking about your income and all that kind of stuff. So first thing, I just want to ask you, are you secure in your home, and are you financially stable? If you're not financially stable, everybody's not financially stable at some point, and in their life, but it's what you do about it. So for those of you who are short on cash, we've tried to show you how to borrow some money if you want to invest in your business. Some people don't like to invest in themselves. And if that's going on in your life right now, this is probably not a very good class to attend. The next thing is I need to ask you a question: are you socially functional? Now, I've had people show up to these classes right here, and I look at them, and I go, I don't think they're socially functional. I mean, I have a lot of people that show up, and you can tell they're socially functional just by looking at them. Okay, but you have to address these issues in your business. The next thing is, are you confident in your abilities to learn and implement things? Okay, so those of you who have read my book, Approach, Plan, Succeed, I talk about the old soldier, and some of you figured out that I think that's me. I do think it's me. Uh, and if you jumped in the ditch with me and said, "Hey, I want to learn to survive and prosper," and you look like you've been here for a while, and you're surviving and prospering, what is it you do? And if you hear the answer, I would highly advise you to listen to it. So, are you willing to set a goal and work to become what that goal produces? You know, folks, if you need $5,000 a month, then that's just 4 estate plan sales. It's a $75,000 annuity, and most of, if you'll do what I ask you to do, you'll average a $200,000 to $250,000 annuity every sale you make, because you'll be talking to people in the right position. So, you know, and I also need to ask you this question. Are you a singular product salesperson looking to add new products to your Dales? That should be sales. What, Greg, why didn't you catch that? Products to your sales and service portfolio. I had a week to look at it. I've just been busy. But anyway, if you're selling a single product, you just have to ask yourself, is this the best way for me to run my business? And some people say, yeah, I'm going to sell this one product over and over and over and over and over, and that's okay. But think about what you're leaving on the table. So that one product, it could be Medicare, it could be life insurance, it could be long-term care, it could be disability, it could be income planning, assets under management, tax services, law practice, bookkeeping. It could be any one of those. But what if you had a way that you could include all those in the process that we do called Family Tree Asset Positioning, the go-to first interview? You know, the first thing we have to do is identify just where you are in your career. That's the first step. And, you know, if you make me believe that you're somewhere in your career that you're not, I'm going to give you bad advice and not know it. And it doesn't matter to me if you've never sold anything before or if you're the greatest salesperson in the world. You know, you can use what we teach to make that better. But, you know, we have to know where you want to go. So you're listening and you've got maybe $2,500 in the bank and a creditor chasing you, or $100,000 in the bank and no need to worry about working today. All I want to know, if you're going to attend my classes, is where do you want to go? What's your next step? And once we identify that next step, we know exactly what to do. But before we go any further, let me tell you where adding do-it-yourself estate planning can take you in your career. I just wanted to show you some options here. But as I said earlier in our lessons, and listen to this is important, but it's the coming of the digital age that has made it apparent and easy for individuals to establish their own estate plans. If you do your own estate plan, you're not practicing law. And if you go in and use the digital software that's attorney written, you're not practicing law. And the person who's helping you with it, or if you're helping someone with it, if they sign the right form, giving you permission to help them, you're not practicing law. And a lot of those that are afraid of that, hang it up. I wouldn't be here trying to teach you something that was illegal. But I also don't want you doing something illegal using what I'm teaching you. Mm-hmm. So there are many software platforms that allow you to do this, and it's not just Family Estate Docs. Family Estate Docs is just one of the best. I think it is the best. So everybody knows that they need an estate plan. They think it will cost too much. They don't know who to talk to. They have not scheduled the time to get it done. But deep down, they want to be led by a competent person through the process. Is that you? Well, if you know this, you have to decide how you invest your time and efforts into approaching and engaging people you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. And I know you've heard me say that before, but why would I change the beat of the drum? If you're here to learn what's going on, you need to be able to identify that are going to benefit from the conversation that you know they would benefit from. You know, estate planning is a market, and you can enter it from so many different directions, but you ought to break it down into a few categories, and it'd be easy for you to make your decision on how to enter. So you're looking at this vast market. You can come through the gate, you can go over the fence, you can run around to the back door of the house and run through the living room, come in the front door. You can do it any way you choose, but there's easy ways and there's hard ways to do it. First of all, I want you to just think about examine your ready and available markets. Starting with those who have done business with you in the past. They already know you, they already like you and trust you. I hope, or else you're wasting your time. So would they not all appreciate the fact that you think they would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan? All you're doing there is showing them you care. All you're doing is saying, hey, I might know something in which you are not aware, and I'm willing to talk with you about it. There's no fee, no commitment. I just think you might benefit from what I know. And what you know, not just what I know, but what you know. So have you considered the repercussions that could happen if you do not approach them to get this task completed? You could have avoided a catastrophe somewhere along the way. I was listening to the news coming over yesterday, coming to work, and some boy got on a motorcycle out in East Knoxville and ran it off the road, and he's deader than a doornail. I just made me wonder, what kind of situation is he in? What kind of situation is his family in? Who could have talked to him? Might have been you. An event could occur that would be more complicated than it would have been had you had the conversation with these people. Look at your client list, look at your neighbors, look at your window. You know something they need to know. They don't even know you know it. So don't tell me you don't have anybody to talk to. You could lose the opportunity to maintain and preserve the relationship with their heirs. That's a big loss. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, when I do a death claim, those heirs, they want to talk to me. They want to hear what I have to say. So I pick up a lot of future sales just by working with the folks I've already done estate plans with. So a trained estate planning person could step in to save the day and take your client away from you if you don't speak to them about estate planning. You want to lose your business to somebody that does what I teach and you already knew it? I don't think so. So, is leaving that door open a good idea? If you're a Medicare agent or a life insurance agent or something, is it really a good idea not to offer these same people your estate planning thought process? I don't think so. But if you're marketing to your existing clients, it's easy or easier and can be done either one-on-one or one-to-many. Either way works. All you have to do is make the offer to have the proper discussion. And here's what happens. I can promise you your client prospect will learn something in which they were not aware. I did a workshop yesterday in Oak Ridge, and people were leaving going, I learned a lot today. and they were making appointments with the licensee that I did the workshop with. So it matters not if they already have a plan. It does not matter. It matters not if they have other financial advisors. So what? If their financial advisor is not talking to them about their estate plan, they've left the door open for you to walk in and do it. And you'll have the peace of mind knowing that you had the conversation. In most cases, you will find issues the other advisors had not considered, enhancing your value to the client, increasing the opportunity for the front end or back end sale. Let me ask you if these terms mean anything to you. What if you found a gap that they wanted to solve? What if you found a cliff that they were not aware of? What if you, in page 2, did the health questions and found out that the healthy spouse was greatly at risk if they didn't take action now? Or you could just not talk to them. So if you're going to be in the estate planning arena, it's all about building momentum. Don't do like me and build so much momentum that you work yourself too hard. But it's easy to build momentum. It's just one lap at a time. So, but you have to learn how to do it step 1 correctly. It doesn't matter whether you do step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 correctly if you can't do step 1 correctly. And once you learn to do step 1 correctly, which is the approach, I don't know if y'all knew about it or not, but I wrote a book called Approach, Plan, Succeed. If you'll just read it, that book will teach you what to say to anybody in any economic stratus, any situation. If you say the same sentence, it'll work every time if you say it correctly. And once you learn to say it correctly, all you have to do is increase the velocity in which you perform that behavior. Ask the casinos if they don't know that. But it's all about building momentum, and it's all about learning to what to build the momentum on. It's all in learning what to say and in increasing that behavior over and over and over. So it's all about converting someone who you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan who agrees to talk with you on a favorable basis. If I were a guru on the top of the mountain and you climbed all the way up the mountain and asked me what the secret to success is in the estate planning business, this is exactly what I would say to you. It's all about converting someone who you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan, who agrees to talk with you on a favorable basis. It really is that simple. So some of you may not have people who have done business with you in the past, or you have left a book of business you did not own. And I run into that a lot. People say, well, I left my Medicare company and I'm not supposed to contact the clients. Well, send them a note and tell them you think that they would benefit from a conversation about their estate plan. You're not breaking the rule. But you may have a fear of failing because of the lack of suspects. This does not mean there is no market. If you don't see yourself as having suspects, that is a failure on your part to understand the market. And when people tell me that, I just want to go, well, that's a good reason, but it's not the real reason. The real reason is you're afraid afraid to approach people. Get over it. They want you to approach them about this topic. And they want you to do it correctly. And they want you to follow my script, and they don't even know that I have a script. So, just because you don't think you have a suspect doesn't mean there's not a market, and there doesn't mean that there's not a market right in front of you, and it's a very lucrative market. You just can't see it. And you have to look and you have to understand that it's there. But it only means you have to enter from a different direction. If you can't enter from the direction you think you're in, you need to go find another doorway. It will still mean one on one or one too many. It has to be one or the other. So, some of these options could be cold calling. Yuck. Direct mail, teaming up with an established agent who already has a book of business, who wants someone to handle the estate planning approach to their existing book of business. Or you could do workshops. Okay. If you keep telling me you don't have any suspects, I'm going to say, you know what? I think I agree, because you just can't see it. Open your eyes and look. It's worth thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. So, my company, Asset Positioning Services and Family Estate Docs, I can improve your success by teaching you the cycle of success. Some of you have been with me 6 months and haven't even made a first sale yet. Some of you have been with me 2 weeks and have already written several pieces of business and written some back-end sales. I know that because I see the reports every day. These are the tools and the roadmap. And you don't have to follow it. I follow it. Once you make the decision to enter this arena, you must prepare yourself for the coming events. You have to be ready. So you have to know how to identify your initial suspects by identifying your avatars. And we've talked about avatars. And the avatars they really are those blue people in that movie. If you listen to what they've got to say, because each person, those blue people in that movie, are just perfect examples of what these humans who are having a dream want their lives to be about. So, you have to identify an avatar. And until you identify that avatar, you can't make it a persona. You can't say, hey, this is a man getting ready to retire with his wife who's already retired, and they have some income gaps and some income cliffs, or you think that they might. You have to identify those people so that you can approach them correctly. All you have to do is use the proper approach techniques that we teach you, and they're so easy. Unless you get hung up about it and stressed about it and you think somebody's going to reject you. If you don't approach them, you've rejected them. You didn't give them the opportunity to learn what you know. It's so easy. By understanding how to convert the suspect to a prospect, that's when you become a master. And no matter what you say, what I'm telling you is this is the hardest part of the whole system that I teach. It's the most profitable part of the system that I teach. And all you have to do is identify that one person that you think would benefit from a conversation with you and get them to agree to have that conversation on a favorable basis at some future date. See how simple that is? That conversation, if I had that conversation 10 times this month or today, but I'm going to say this month because you have to build momentum. Do it once every 3 days. If you do it 10 times, 7 people are going to say yes, and 3 of them are going to buy from you. So if you're stressed out over money or stressed out over rejection, read my book, follow these directions. People want to hear what you've got to say, especially, people are selfish. They don't care whether you make any money or not. What they care about is whether they're going to benefit from it. That's it. They don't care if you feed your kids. They don't care if you pay your rent. They care about what you can do for them that is a benefit to their life. That's it. How easy it is. So, so, so how to use the family tree asset positioning go-to first interview to get the front end sale of the estate plan or a restatement of the existing plan is all you really want to learn. But that means you need to be able to use the agenda. And if you don't have a copy of the agenda, what chapter is that, Greg? Is it chapter 21? I think in the book.
22.
23 and 24. You know, if you want to take my free 30-day training class, it's day 21, 22, 23, and 24. If you want the fast track training, call us and become a licensee and we'll put you in the fast track training. That's chapter 21, 22, 23, and 24. But chapter 21 is the agenda. It gives you an outline of how the conversation should go. I like to give it to my client before I have the conversation so they'll know that I'm organized and that I'm going to lead them through a decision-making process. And if I was a little, excuse my accent, but when I say decision-making, what I really mean is decision-making, but most of you might understand making. But anyway, I want to teach you how to use the confidential. That's chapter 22, day 22. It is designed to lead your prospect up to and through the decision they need to make to establish their estate plan. And you know what? It's really, really good. So why you want to follow the best sales script that you'll ever learn? Well, I call it the family tree asset positioning go-to first interview. You can have it with every person you know. And when you're finished, you'll have a list of all the people in their family. You will have had the opportunity to explain to them how an estate plan works. You'll understand what real estate they own and what state it's located in. You'll understand what their long-term care plans are. You'll have an income conversation with them that's very innocent, that teaches them about their gaps and their cliffs and their sure things and their maybes. And you're not going to ask them to buy anything, and then you're going to go in and ask them about their health questions. You're going to so that you can be a better advisor if you understand their current health situation. And then you're going to get some ballpark of their assets, and then you're going to be able to ask them, hey, you've done a pretty good job with your assets. You got a couple of health issues. Don't you think we ought to get your paperwork in order? So, you know, the family tree asset positioning go-to first interview, if you will learn the script, and I will teach it to you. I'll teach all my licensees the script for free. It will show you how to establish the desire for the back-end sales interview. Because, you know, after I've done the real estate and the long-term care decision and the income decision and the health questions and the ballpark assets, it doesn't bother me a bit to look at them. And I promise you this will happen to you. Hey, I've got some ideas for you, but I need to do some research and run some numbers. When you come back in to pick up your estate plan, do you want to see your numbers? Who can tell you no? Almost nobody. So, you know, I also want you to know why you want to use the Retire Now software in the sales process for the back-end sale. The script for the back-end sale has been written by some of the most professional salespeople who are very successful in the business and are making a lot of money using the Retire Now software and the sales process. It's called the back-end sale. My back-end sales average $200,000 to $250,000. My future sales average between $500,000 and $1 million. I only want to teach people how to do it if they want to learn. But if you just want to watch and not launch, it's okay if you waste your time. But my time, for those who want to exercise what I teach, those folks are making money. They're doing well. So, if you truly want to add estate planning to your sales and service portfolio, to your existing business, I mean, if you really want to add it, then use the Family Tree software. Use the Cycle of Success, the Family Tree Asset Positioning, Go-To First Interview, the Retire Now software. That's the way to go. Some of you do it and then go in and convert automatically to individual product salespeople. You're wasting your time. You want to get all products. You want to get your client focused on all products, not just one, unless you only have one product. If I only had one product to sell, the product that I would sell would be the Family Tree Asset Positioning Go-To First Interview. That would be my product. And the reason is it's superior to any other sales process teaching. It is superior. It makes me afraid of no one in the marketplace who tries to combat what I teach and what I use in my sales process. Most of them can't even keep up with it. So, if you follow that process using the Cycle of Success, it's easy to understand and easy to implement. So it's already superior to anything else you know. And I'm not bragging. Yeah, I am. It's good. It's a good sales process. But, the sales presentation using the systematic Cycle of Success, where you start with your suspects and identify the prospect. You start with your avatar. You turn them into suspects. You get them to talk to you on a favorable basis. You make the Family Tree Asset Positioning Go-To First Interview presentation using the Cycle of Success. You make an appointment. You make a sale. Once you've made the sale, they start talking to you about the people that they think would benefit, that you should approach. It's a cycle. So, it's also low cost. And you get an internal support mechanisms from my company. You get me, you get Greg, you get everybody else, that Steve, Wynn, anybody else in the company that you have questions from. You have access to us, but you also get my website, randallbaxter.com. Every class I have taught is on randallbaxter.com. And you know what? Even if you're not a licensee, I don't care if you go there and learn from it. It'll change your life. Go to randallbaxter.com, click on the button FTAP Training, which is Family Tree Asset Positioning Training. And the password is Family FTAP, all in capital letters, no space, and the word courses, COURSES. So FTAP, capital letters, courses, COURSES. And you'll go into what I think is some of the best teachings in estate planning for the sales process that you've ever been exposed to. Superior, intellectually adaptable, and I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to raise your income, it's a no-brainer. So, and something else, I mentioned a minute ago, but if I failed to mention future sales, that's what I call the sweet spot. I like being in the sweet spot. You'll like it too if you figure out how to get there. But the sweet spot, by definition, that's that spot that you will hold in the relationship that prevents other financial services people from breaking into your relationship with your client. When there's a problem, they won't call their insurance agent. They won't call their attorney. They won't call their CPA. They'll call the person that helped them set up their estate plan. They'll go, hey, I just inherited some money. What should I do with it? How should I make this work into my estate plan? They might go, hey, my great uncle died. They might go, I'm getting ready to retire. I want to be sure that the decisions I make fits into my estate plan. Hey, I just sold my house, and I got $800,000 for it, and I'm going to buy one that's got $230,000. What should I do with the rest of this money? So, I don't mind telling you that happens to me a lot because I built my momentum over time and I understand the value of the sweet spot. So, I've established relationships with my clients and their heirs. I've got money that I've sold 3 or 4 times. Now I'm a gray-headed old man. But I can track probably 25 or 30 million dollars to cases that were originally 20 years ago were probably 5 or 6 million dollars. And I can track it through the family trees. I know where it came from. I know where it's going. And since I know where it's going, I bet you I'm going to be there when it gets ready to go. So if I have a client that I know it has stage 4 pancreatic cancer or has fallen several times and has a broken hip, I'm going to pull the file and I'm going to look and see who those heirs are. And I'm probably going to be talking to them. So, I don't know if y'all understand this word, but I get dibs on all future sales for all my clients. You know what a dib is? You call dibs when you were a kid? I call dibs on every dollar my clients have for death claims, for home downsizing, for asset changes, for health changes, and for relationship changes. And I know about them in advance most of the time. So by the time the stockbrokers get there, I've already been there and gone. So with my software, you also have the opportunity to build a downline. And I can just be real honest with you and tell you that if you build a downline, it's going to take your agents that are working under you some time to learn their products. And who are they going to turn to teach them their products? And they're going to bring you cases that they're not ready to handle by themselves. They'll split that case with you if you'll just help them close it, if you'll show them what to do, show them how, introduce them to people like Mike Bemis or that have the Retire Now software and learn how to use it. Things I like about Mike Bemis is I really don't know how to use. I mean, I don't have to learn how to use it that much anymore. I know how to use it, but I tell him what I want and he runs it for me and sends it to me. It's kind of like a doctor going scalpel, knife, scissors, and he hands it to you ready to go. So, what I'm saying to you, that's how you build your estate planning business. If you're not an attorney, you don't have to be one. Or even if you are, we have attorneys who use our software. If somebody fusses at you about it, tell them to put it in writing and send it to you in a letter. So, plus I don't care to tell you, you have access to my experience if you want it, and that's free if you're a licensee. Just make an appointment, and I've got people that surround me that know what to do, and sometimes I'll say you need to talk to Wynn or to Greg or to Steve, and they're going to help you just as well as me. So knowing that, do any of you have any questions? At least I see that there's a couple people in the chat room that have asked some questions. Can you help us see what those are?
Yes, Randall. Questions in the chat. Jake asked, where can I get information on the Retire Now software?
You can just email me, Jake, and I'll get you set up. And Jake, you have to be licensed with Simplicity of Minneapolis to get access to the software. If you're a captive agent, you probably won't have access to it. But I can show it to you next time we meet. I can show it to you and show you how it works. but not everybody's going to have access to it. But if you have a case that you want done, if you are a captive agent, just tell me what you need. I'll help you build it and I'll get it for you. I can't give you the software, but I can give you the answers. I don't
Jake,
control or own the software.
sorry,
Go ahead.
man.
Okay.
I was just letting Jake know that I've put your email address in the chat.
Okay. All righty.
And then Neil wanted to know what is the password to the site. So I put it in a direct message to him. It's FTAP courses. I'll put it in the chat again now.
Okay. And Neil, I really do want to help you get launched. The password to the courses will help you, but it's the cycle of success that gets you started. It's the ability to identify the people that you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their estate plan, their current estate plan, not the one you want them to buy, but the one they have right now. Because they'll be able to see the holes in it. They'll be able to see that it's probably not the best way to go. And there's a real good chance that there's been relationship changes and asset changes and health changes since they did their current estate plan. And you're going to be a hero if you use the agenda, use the confidential, use the sales presentation, learn the power phrases. There's not a power phrase in that sales presentation that I have not used to close a big case. And, 21, 22, 20, chapter 24. And if you just want chapter 24, send us an email. We'll send you chapter 24. It won't work as good unless you know 21, 22, and 23. I hope that answers your question, Neil. But get launched, it's not to be an expert. To get launched is to identify 10 people that you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. And that's the secret sauce. Any other questions?
Nothing more in the chat.
Come on.
Wait, Mike's just posted a question.
Okay, Mike, how you doing there, buddy?
Hello. I don't know
Hello.
if hey, Randy. Say, I'm looking through my emails. I thought that there was a training that you sent me that is suggested that I attend an in-person training coming up.
Yes, that's the boot camp that we're going to have up in Minneapolis, July 23rd. It's a one-day event, but it follows the Simplicity Boot Camp that's going to start the evening of the 23rd, which is there's a dinner, and then there's classes from Simplicity on Wednesday and Thursday. But the boot camp is just for my people. If you want to come and learn the basics in person from me, send me an email. At least if you put my email up there. Back in Las Vegas.
I got it. I have it. Okay, good. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So this one's going to be in Minneapolis. Okay, I thought so, but then I couldn't find it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I need to go to that for sure. Thanks.
I would encourage you, and if it's not worth a couple of $100,000 to you before Christmas, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
Okay, and Mike, but only if you implement
right
the cycle of success with it.
Right. That's on me. I got it.
Okay. So I can give you the recipe, but you got to mix it right. You can't skip steps.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm with you.
And I will help you in every step. And those of you who know me well enough, I will help you if you will follow what I teach. If you modify what I teach, I'm almost willing to promise you it won't work as well as if you do it the way I teach it. And I know that because I see it every day. How about other questions?
Nothing more yet in the chat.
Jump up and down and joggle your memory. If you've got a question, now's the time to do it. And, I want to talk to you a little bit about what the lesson's going to be next week. And I'm going to teach you a little bit next week about numbers in your business and your mindset, and how to change your mindset by looking at your numbers. But then I'm also going to teach you how to use the free trial to close 60% of the people that you offer the free trial to. But you have to do it right. You have to do it the way I show you. You can't just issue 100 free trials and wait on something to happen. You have to tell people that you're going to send them a free trial and that you want to make an appointment with them to talk about the free trial. And when they agree, do the family tree presentation. And watch the sales roll in. Watch the back end sales roll in. Okay. Yesterday I worked with an agent over in Oak Ridge, and I, just by talking to him, I can see he gets it. He understands. He's excited and motivated about it, and he understands that you can't go anywhere until you make a good approach. And if you know that your approach works 7 out of 10 times, then I would just encourage you to try it 10 times before you modify it, before you change it, before you poo-poo it or whatever you want to do. It works. All right, what else we got?
Susan had a question in the chat. She asked, can you touch on the interview certification form a bit?
Can I touch on the interviews what?
Certification form. I think it's that form we sent out about.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg did one the other day and he filled it out perfect. It's a form that the client acknowledges that they're using a do-it-yourself software and that they acknowledge that they are allowing you to help them put it together. And if the digital age has allowed the world to not have to go to the attorneys anymore to do your estate plan. All right, Susan, what's your
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I understand that it's just kind of a CYA kind of thing. But my question is, this is new, so I'm wondering when you're actually approaching the client with this. Is this initially at the very beginning, or
No. You approach them with that form. It's not new. It's always been there. It's always been in your software. I use it once I look at people and I've already talked to them about their long-term care. I've talked to them about their income. I've asked them their health questions and I've reviewed their assets with them. And then I look at them and I go, hey, Susan, you've done a pretty good job with your assets. Don't you think you need to have the right paperwork? If they agree to it and you pull out their credit card form, and then you pull out that other form that says that they understand that this is a do-it-yourself software program and that they are giving you permission to help them get it done. And that's the CYA part. But it's always been there. And I just want to encourage you all to understand it and use it. I think a lot of people don't dive in because they're afraid. But at the same time, if you'll read your end user agreement and use that form, you don't have to be afraid of anything. What else we got?
Eric had a question in the chat.
Yes, sir, Eric. Go ahead.
He said, can the system be used by a symmetry agent? Are you already working with any?
Let me see if I can rephrase that. Can this software be used by a symmetry agent? Is that like
Yes,
another
can the
IMO?
system be used by a symmetry agent? Are you already working with any?
No, Eric, I will work with anybody that wants to learn. And a good licensee will be able to pick their products that they think are appropriate. It doesn't matter to me where you get those products. What matters, but it does matter to simplicity, not symmetry. It does matter to simplicity if you want to use their Retire Now software. And I don't own that. I have access to it just like everybody else. But yes, if you're with another IMO and you want to use my teachings and my software system, the answer is absolutely yes. I can help you one-on-one. I can set you up with a master licensee contract. I can set you up with a senior master licensee contract. And we can even do white labels. which gives you total control over the process. So the answer is yes, you can. And
Eric
Eric, I'd
wrote
like to
in the
talk to you about
chat,
it. I'm sorry.
Eric wrote in the chat, it is an IMO.
Okay, it is an IMO. So if your IMO wants me to teach everybody in the IMO, I'll be more than happy to do it. If you want me to teach you and let you keep it a secret, I'll be happy to do that too. Well, does that answer your question, Eric? I hope so. How about something else?
Nothing else yet.
Oh, come on. Uh, you know what? Don't tell anybody. Everything I said today's a secret. Don't tell anybody. Don't help anybody make their estate plan. Don't help any agents make any money. Don't help anybody change their lives. Because if you do that, you'll or you might be helping them out so much that you don't, and you might not want to help them out. That's how easy it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds, and then I've got an appointment. You know what I'm going to do here at 4:30? I'm going to go pick up two $100,000 checks on future sales of people that I did estate plans about 6 or 7 years ago. And they had some CDs mature, and you know what? I didn't even have to approach them. They called me and they said, Randy, we've got these CDs maturing. What is it we need to do with this money? So I'm gonna go over and show them what their options are. And you know why they called me? Because I'm in the sweet spot. And you need to learn to get there. It's that easy. Okay. I call it a money day. I like money days. A money day can last 30 minutes or a couple of hours, or sometimes if you're on a roll and you see 4 or 5 people and you sell the first one, it makes it easier to sell the next one, and you start having a big money day. I'm not sure what big money means to you, but big money to me means all my monthly expenses paid in just one day of work. I don't know what money day means to you. I hope it. Let me teach you. Let me teach you what I know. Let me teach you what I do. Um, you'll never know until you implement what I say. And there's people even online here right now that have been with me a year and have yet to sell their first estate plan. All I can say to you there is do it. Yeah, do it. But the other thing I would say is, why have you not sold one? What is it that you need to know or you need to want to do to get yourself in a position where you can have money days at least once a week? I like money days twice a week, but once a week's okay. Anything else?
Randall, Mike said, thanks, Randy and company. And then Eric from Symmetry said, so this would be good for infinite banking, IUL annuities, and life insurance. And then Eric also said, I like the fact that this positions you as an expert, not just a life insurance agent.
Absolutely. I started out as a life insurance agent, and I had no idea, because I was brainwashed, that there was anything else out there to sell. But as time went on and I learned the estate planning process, I sell disability insurance, I sell life insurance, I sell non-qualified annuities, I sell accumulating annuities, I sell income annuities, I sell mutual funds, I sell assets under management. Um, uh, and Eric, listen to me here. I'm about to tell you a secret. When you do your estate planning process using the Family Tree Asset Positioning Go-To First Interview, you become like a doctor. And what you're going to do is, after you have this interview, you're going to make a diagnosis of what is best for that client based on their information that they gave you. And once you make that diagnosis, you're going to be able to write a prescription that cures the problem that they have, whether they have a stockbroker or an insurance agent or somebody else they're doing business with or not. You're going to be the only person that identified the true problem, made the diagnosis, and wrote the prescription with whatever products you want. That's the secret. Don't tell anybody. I don't want anybody to know. Anything else? Eric, give us a call. We'll make you a licensee and teach you everything we know. It doesn't bother me where you place your business. The only thing that really bothers me in my career right now is just what I started the thing out. What happens if you don't have the conversation with your client? And what's the benefit if you do? Those are the only two questions you need to ask. And if you'll do that, you'll see that it's just easy. Anyway, I'm gonna give you one more minute before I go, and then I'm gonna go over and pick up that money. But you know what I'm gonna do before I pick up that money? I'm gonna show them all their options. And I call it finding their true purpose for money. I already know what their true purpose for money is. I can already pretty well guess what product it is because we've been talking about it for 2 or 3 months on the phone, but the CDs didn't mature until last week. But we know what we want to do. We want to tax defer it for 3 to 5 years, and we want to have access to it. And it's probably going to be a MIGA. Not everything has to be an index annuity contract. Not everything has to be a universal life banking these folks have just got some extra money. They want to store it for a couple of years. And I've already got all their income annuities set up. I've already got their life insurance done. I've already got their IRAs established. And we did it all. And they've been my clients since 2015. So their trust is about 9 years old. Their estate plan is about 9 years old. And I write business with them every 6 or 7 months. And they send me their children, and they tell me about their friends, and they tell me when their friends get sick, and sometimes when their friends get sick, they need to have an estate plan. And when I get there, I find out that sickness is not properly funded. And I usually pick up a sale there. And then I pick up all their heirs. And then they tell me about their friends. It's called the cycle of success. Identify suspects that you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current plan, not the one you want them to buy, the one they have right now. Anything else? That's the secret formula.
Nothing more, Randall.
Okay, well, my back hurts. I'm gonna quit talking and go have some fun with my friends and pick up a little money and then go home. Anyway, I'm going to count to 10 and I'm going to be gone unless you have a question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See you later. Talk to you next week.
Thanks so
And
much.
hey,
Bye.
See you, Randy.
schedule time for the boot camp. Thank you.